every kind of pleasure.
It's probably the night that
And after several nights,
my now business partner, he wasn't really into the game.
Let's have a surprise.
But at the time, you know, my business partner I've known going on 17
something's going to
years.
happen to me that I don't know what it's going to be.
Give or take 16 years, something like that, give or take.
Then you get more and more adventurous.
We was rolling together, and I have a cousin.
As to
He's
what
my
you
younger
would dream.
cousin. It's about like a year or
Finally, you
two.
would dream.
And he came to me one day, you know, was talking about he wanted to do this and do that, and he wanted in on some of the action. So I was like, all right, cool, fuck it, I got you. So me and him started doing business together. Anyway, that's another part. We'll get into that. You'll probably hear more about that cousin and the partner later on. But anyway, it's me, it's my cousin, it's my partner. We get hit up. It's like 2, 3 in the morning. We're all at the crib, smoking the bleeds, hanging out. My business partner doesn't smoke. Like I said, he's not from the game. He's not in the game. He's my boy. And so me and my cousins were all smoking, playing video games, having a good old time. You know, shit in the shop. Keep in mind, this is also, it's like 2 or 3 months after I got shot. So we're sitting at the apartment, kicking back, having a good old time. I'm still recovering. My cousin gets a hit up. It's like 2, 3 in the morning. Some female, she's all like, hey, I need some bud.
If you awaken,
Can you slide on through? I was like, yeah.
Black implies white.
You know, for sure, we got you. You know, I told my cousin, I was like first thought, cause like I said, I've been in the business a long time. You know, this is a couple years back.
Not as
But I've been in the business a
stranger,
long time, even up until this.
Not as something here.
I don't take on new clientele. I'm not
as
greedy.
something
I'm happy with the money I got,
that
with the
has
money I
arrived
make.
here by
You know, and so
But you can begin
my
to
cousin
feel
again, I'm
your
trying to help him out, trying to
absolutely
trying to put some bread in his pocket. So I'm like, do you trust this person?
What you
Know this
are
person? It's late. We don't do drops
deep
after
down,
11
far
o'clock.
in.
And he's all like, yeah, nah. I fucks with her. I go back. Me and this nigga was kicking it back then. You know, we was fucking bitches, yada yada, all this other bullshit. So I was like, all right, cool, whatever, right? So we pull up, about a 20-minute drive. Pull up, skirt. It's on this corner house right here, right? It's on the very corner. The stop sign right here. Pull up right in front of that stop sign. As soon as we do, see these 2 bitches sitting on the porch. And keep in mind, I was all like, do I need to bring a strap? My cousin was like, nah. He's like, I fucks with this bitch. We cool. There's no need for us to ride even, dirtier than we already riding. Don't bring the strap. So I was like, cool. Fuck it. I trust your word. It is what it is. I knew better. I should have listened. Anyway, we gets to the spot. 2 bitches sitting on the porch, no light on. You know, house looks all dark and shit. So I was like, man. So I roll down my window and I pull out my hand and I go like that. I tell her, come on. Anyway, we pull up. She's like, come here. I'm like, nah. My cousin's like, fuck it, I'll get out. I'm like, man, nigga, be careful. He's like, alright, cool, whatever. Walks up on her, nigga, big tough. Keep in mind, my cousin, he's a young cat, but he's like 6'3", 6'4". You know what I'm saying? These some small ass girls. They gotta be at least, like 5'2", 5'3". I'm sitting on the corner like this, and I'm like, yo. And I see them, and she's all like, here, let's step around the corner real quick. And I immediately know, and I'm yelling at him like, hey, like, get the fuck over here, like, don't go around that corner, right? And he's all like, nah, it's cool. And I'm like, man, the next thing I know, all I hear is bah, 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 bah. And I was like, oh shit. And so my homeboy was not in the game. He's not used to, shit like that popping off. So he fucking grabbed the truck. We in a truck, big ass truck. Fucking throw that bitch in gears, like, and I'm like, hey, hey, and we blow the stop sign, right? And I see my cuz and old girl, and they're over there and they're fucking wrestling and they're fighting for this gun. And I tell old boy to stop, and all I see, and then they're fighting like this. Their hands are like this, and then she goes, bah, 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 and there's all these shots, and then something happens, and then boom, like I see my cousin go down, and I'm like, oh shit, he's hit, right? So I open my door, my boy, again, not in the game, this nigga grabbed me by the collar, yanks me back into the car. He's all like, what the fuck are you gonna do? He's like, what the fuck are you gonna do? He's like, what are you gonna go out there and like you get shot? And I'm all like, nigga, we can't just leave this nigga there, bro. Like, they just shot this nigga. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting there and I'm like, fuck. Like, I just picked this nigga up from you know, his mama house. You know, I gotta take this nigga back to his mama's house. You know what I'm saying? And he's all like, what are you gonna do? And I was like, fuck. He's like, you ain't even got a fucking gun. I'm like, fuck. And I'm like, what do we do? And he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, dude, I was like, circle the block. I was like, and we're gonna go pick him up. Shit, man, we circle the block, and he's all like, fuck, like, what do we do? And I'm like, shit. I was like, fuck it, you know, we'll pick him up and we'll drive to the hospital. I'm freaking out, we're freaking the fuck out. And you know, my heart's racing, and we pull back around, and I don't see him. I don't see him laying there. You know, and I'm thinking like, fuck, like, you know, where the fuck is he at? I'm thinking, you know, did they, you know, pick him up? Did they take him with them? Like, did he cross somewhere? I'm thinking he's fucking dying. So I'm like, shit. So like, I'm like, what do we do? And my partner, again, not in the game, he's like, dude, he's like, we gotta call the cops. I'm like, you're fucking tripping. I'm like, we're not gonna call the cops. And he's like, dude, he's fucking dying. And I'm like, fuck. And I'm like, all right. I was like, we'll place an anonymous tip. So we fucking placed an anonymous tip. You know, shots fired in the area, right? And we're like, fuck. So I'm driving, and I'm like, yo, I was like, his mama's house is 2 blocks down. I was like, pull up on her. I'm gonna go, you know, and tell her, you know, like, what's going down. You know, and my heart's like racing. I'm sitting here, you know, thinking like I'm having to tell her, like, yo, like he's not coming home, you know, all this other shit, and fucking phone starts ringing in the back seat of the truck, and I pick it up, and I'm like, fuck, it's an old boy's phone, and it's his mama, and she calling, and I'm sitting there, and I'm in shock, and I'm looking at the phone like this, and I'm looking at my boy, and I'm looking at the phone, and I'm looking at my boy, and I'm like, what the fuck do I do? You know, and I missed the call, and then so I'm like, fuck, I'm sitting there, and then call again, she's calling back again, I'm like, fuck. So I'm like, I gotta answer, so I slide it open, answer, I'm like, you know, I'm like, hello, and you know, I'm ready, you know, I'm ready to hear her, you know, say something, you know, ask, you know, where old boy at, and I hear, and he's all, he's like, bro, and I hear my nigga's voice, and I'm like, oh shit, and I'm like, nigga, I was like, what the fuck, and he's like, dude, he's like, come back to the crib, and I'm like, fuck, all right, so I tell, oh dude, I'm like, hey man, come on, let's go back to the spot. So we go back to the spot, I'll pull up in there. You know, his mama, his daddy, his little brother and sister, they're all in there. He's on the bed, he's laying there. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, I'm like, this nigga's dying, you know? And he got hit, but he wasn't hit fatally. And we're sitting there and we're talking about, you know, what we finna do, you know, how we finna retaliate, you know, this, that, and the other. You know, and that was the day I thought I lost my cousin, you know, over $80 worth of weed, you know, and it made me realize that day, And I actually got another story on that same topic over, death over petty money. It made me realize, that in this game, that even the most, the people that you trust the most, you've hung out, with the most, he knew this bitch for fucking years. They grew up together. I already knew it, but it re-solidified it in my mind and showed me that, it'd be your own people. It'd be the people that's closest to you. They tried to kill my nigga over $80. Like, I understand if you beat him up, what I'm saying, knock him out or something. But killing somebody over $80 is some stupid shit. But